Welcome back into the Sports Source, the segment brought to you by Parkside Cabin Rentals. Whether you're looking for a romantic weekend getaway, corporate retreat spot for your whole team, and believe me, they got cabins up there that can take care of 20 people plus, or maybe you just want a few days of solitude during the week. Parkside Cabin Rentals always has a deal going. They got all kinds of cabins you can check out at their website, parksidecabinrentals.com. They've got them all over the place. If you're looking for a place by a creek, type that in the machine, boom. You want a place that's far away from everyone else, boom. You want a place that's right near the strip there, downtown Gatlinburg. They've got a new place there, boom. Parkside Cabin Rentals, they'll take good care of you. If you're looking to get out of town this spring, that's the place to go. Check with Parkside Cabin Rentals. All right, we welcome in the final member of today's panel, Josh Ward, right down there from 99.1 The Sports Animal. Josh, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Sean.
I want to start by talking about Bracketology. These guys update these things on Twitter without updating on online. They update them online 5 minutes before the show starts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going with the last one I saw, which was about 10 o'clock this morning. And this is what Jerry Palm of CBS Sports had, if we can get in on that a little bit. So Tennessee, he's got them in the West. He actually moved them this morning from their number 1 4 seed to the number 4 3 seed. Still had them as a 4 seed as of yesterday. Their net ranking is number 8 in the nation, so that should make them a 2 seed if you're going by that. I was surprised he had them as a 4. But as of today, he's got them as the number 3 seed out West against Vermont in the first round. Colorado State and North Carolina, who they already beat this year, would be waiting for them in the second round. If you look here, just wait right there. Joe Lunardi of ESPN. Now, look, he's updated his today, but as of 10 o'clock this morning, he's updated it just recently. He still had Tennessee as a 3 seed against Texas State in the South, and Ohio State, the 6 and 11, gold friend Ohio State, 6 and 11 with Davidson there in the second round. He's now moved them, you say, to the East instead of the South. Is that what you just saw?
Yeah, I think so. In the East is the second 3 seed.
As the second 3 seed. Still a 3 seed, but in the East. Okay. My question for you, Josh, before we start looking at the SEC tournament bracket, do you think a 2 seed is still on the table?
I think it's on the table. Tennessee needs to win. I would say at least get to Sunday in the SEC tournament, because that Saturday win could be a quality win away from home, which Tennessee's resume does not really have right now. That's going to wow the committee. And then you probably need some help in front, so maybe some early exits for those teams that you're trying to jump. I mean, Villanova has the head-to-head Tennessee, and that's one spot that you're trying to climb. Texas Tech's in that mix too, and they have the head-to-head.
Both of those have been 3 seeds pretty much through this whole thing. So if you're in a 3 seed slot, having to get by Texas Tech and Villanova, they do have the head-to-head. And that's tough, as you say. Let's take a look at the SEC tournament bracket as it broke down following yesterday's action. You see there, it's kind of small on the screen, but Tennessee, I like their slot. If you're not going to be the first game every day, I like being the first game of the night session, so you're not sitting there saying, okay, it's 30 minutes after this team played 3 overtimes. Just start the thing at 6 o'clock, you know it. But they will be playing the winner of Mississippi State and South Carolina on Friday. So they get the double bye, obviously, as the 2 seed in the tournament. Mississippi State and South Carolina, they play the winner there. Both teams they beat in the regular season. If they get by that, you're looking at probably, if you go by seeding, you're looking at the winner of Kentucky-Alabama. I don't mind that either, because Tennessee has had, Rick Barnes knows how to coach against John Calipari in Kentucky. It's not a bad draw. And it shouldn't be if you're the number 2 seed. But in terms of matchups, granted, Kentucky's really good. I'm not saying I would take Tennessee to beat them, but I would rather be over there with a team that Tennessee has repeatedly handled and played well against, rather than Bruce Pearl and Auburn, who you finally got off the schneid this week. Your thoughts on the tournament bracket and the way it sets up for Tennessee, you guys?
I like to draw too. I'd rather be on Kentucky's side too, although they're probably going to travel better than any team there.
True.
There's going to be a lot of blue, even though it's in, Tampa this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of blue there, but yeah, I think they still, is Washington, is he so-so? Yeah, so a little injury bug bit them too. And I can see a potential matchup in the championship game with Auburn. It's kind of reminiscent of Grant Williams' senior year.
Yeah.
So maybe we see them again, and maybe we beat Kentucky and Auburn again and win the SEC championship. Mark,
the last time the tournament was held in Tampa, Tennessee made it to the finals. You were on the staff, lost to Mississippi State, and I think it was Jarvis Bernardo, wasn't he, the key down there? Your thoughts on Tennessee's draw? And Chuck, hang on, I'm going to let you start the next question.
I like it much better before that, South Carolina, Mississippi State being there. I think they had Florida in there, who's you're still thinking they could make a run into the NCAA tournament. Texas A&M, a really tough, well-coached team. So I like their draw. It's still wide open to me. I think anybody of these teams can really win outside the first day's games. But I think Tennessee is playing well at the right time, whereas even Auburn, they're not playing as well as they were earlier in the season.
Let's take a look at the SEC resumes of the top 4 teams. And Chuck, this is where I'll start with you. Running through this, you got them listed by seed, 1, 2, 3, 4 there. The net ranking, those didn't change after yesterday. So Auburn 10, Tennessee 8, Kentucky 5, Arkansas 22nd. You see them versus ranked teams. Auburn's only played 5 all year. Arkansas's played 5 all year. Tennessee's played 11 ranked teams.
Right.
All right? And they've got a winning record against those 11 teams. In the last 10, they're the hottest team out of that bunch. They beat Auburn, they beat Kentucky, they beat Arkansas. Overall, their record isn't as strong as Auburn's. The only place they have a real issue is down there, that away from home thing where they're still at 500 outside of Thompson Bowling Arena, and Auburn has a great road record. But when I look at these resumes, Auburn's a 1 seed in most of these projections, or at least a high 2 seed. Tennessee's a 3 or a 4 in most of these things. I think you could make a strong case Tennessee's resume is actually better than Auburn's. Who's got the best resume in the SEC in your opinion? Could be Kentucky, could be.
When you look at it right here, I think it has to be Tennessee, especially.
Has
to be because the last 10 games, you're 9-1. Look at your net ranking. You're better than Auburn in that. Ranked teams, you have twice as many wins versus ranked teams as Auburn. It has 3. So, you can make a case through there based on these that Tennessee, if you were doing your typical A, B, C, D without the name of the team there,
yes,
I think you would have as good a chance to pick Tennessee as anybody.
I should have done the blind resume.
The blind resume.
Yeah. Guys, your thoughts? Who's got the best resume of these 4?
Tennessee's. Even
okay, I say we don't. We know where he's going.
Even you look at the amount of ranked opponents. Auburn, they played 5, and one of them. Murray State's having a great year, mid-major team. UConn, kind of a mid-major, or not mid-major, but they're a lower-ranked, top 25. We played Villanova, Texas Tech, and we played some teams that are high up in the rankings. So I would take Tennessee.
You've got 3 wins over top 5 teams. Yeah, so
lately,
I can't picture Auburn having that much better resume than Tennessee. Josh, who's got the best resume?
So I would go in order: Kentucky, Tennessee, Auburn. The edge I give to Kentucky is they went to Kansas and destroyed them. So going to Allen and winning that way, that's why. But it's really close. And Tennessee, I would give the credit of playing all those games they did versus what Auburn's played.
And it says to schedule up, right? Yeah. The one thing that I saw too in neutral site games, Auburn is 3-1, Tennessee's 1-2. Yeah. So that's one thing that does fall in Auburn's
that you
favor.
You have an opportunity to change that.
Exactly.
So, all right, when we come back, we're going to start. This is going to be fast. It's rapid fire. We got questions to wrap up the regular season. We got questions looking ahead to the tournaments. We got questions looking ahead to next year. We've even got a Lady Vols question. Come on back on the Sports Source.